Here's a question I want to ask you. Do you miss Sam and James?
It's a really tough question. A band is like a family, you know. And, you know, when the band first starts out, any band, it's like everybody loves everybody else. And everybody is supportive of everybody else. It's like, oh, let's do your song. Okay, let's do your song. Well, let's, you know, and it's real like this love fest and mutual support system. And all of a sudden, it reaches a certain point after a number of years where certain resentments build, where someone is doing, well, how come we're doing all of your songs and only one of my songs? And in all of these little, and it's every band has the same story in a certain way. And Big Brother reached, you know, that several times in its evolution. And I think in the 90s, it kind of got to a point with James where he had this gigantic resentment of everybody. First it was me, then it switched from me to Sam, and eventually it was like everybody. And we just couldn't work together with him. And I loved the guy, but at the same time, I hated him because he just made me feel terrible every time I was around him. And I couldn't work with him anymore. After he died, which was around 2010, you know, you only remember the good stuff. You remember all the laughs and the wonderful times in the early days when it was like a love fest. And it's the same thing with Sam. I just, you know, the last probably 7 years that we worked together, we were at loggerheads all the time. It was like a battle of the egos. He wanted to run the show. He wanted to be the musical director. And I wanted to have a certain input into things. And he didn't, you know, he really didn't want that. He really wanted to be like the leader. And we had a lot of build-up resentments. Yet the funny thing about it was that he was dying. He was in the hospital. And he was dying. And his wife said, you know, will you go and see him? And I said, you sure Sam wants to see me? You really sure? And she said, no, he really does, you know. And so I went, you know, and he was laying there, you know, really dying. You know, when someone's dying, you know they don't have much time. And it was, you know, it was very heart-wrenching because sort of all the stuff that is, you know, all the other bullshit kind of is minor, becomes very insignificant. So that's kind of the only way I can answer those questions. I miss those guys when I kind of, you know, try to think of the good stuff. When you think of the good stuff and you think of what they contributed and how in some way they were so important to creating the whole thing of what the band was and its history. At the same time, do I miss the individual moments when I hated this guy's guts and when he was trying to humiliate me or when he was putting me down or telling me, you know, this and I was telling, you know, I try not to focus on that.
Well, it's just like family.
Exactly. So, you know, it's a complicated question. You can't answer just yes or no. In the long run, I think the good side of people, you try to remember that more than the other. And you try to give more weight to that and what the person's contribution to the music was.
My question is, how do you feel about the latest version of Big Brother in the Holding Company?
Yeah, we had a fantastic version. In October, we went to the Netherlands, we went to Holland. And there's a gal who played with us over the years. She plays violin and keyboards and sings. Her name is Kate Thompson, Kate Russo.
I've seen her play on YouTube.
Yeah, and she started actually playing with us in the 90s in New York. When we were started going to New York, and in the late 90s, there was a club called Manny's Car Wash. and we played a lot. And Kate, who was probably in her early 20s then, would come down and sit in, and you know, she was great then. And over the years, at some point she toured with us, and she went to Mexico with us, and then she went on another tour. But mainly she's not been in the band. Mainly we've had two guitars rather than guitar and violin. And we got this thing going in Holland. Actually, it started when Sam died. We had a memorial show for Sam at the Great American Music Hall, and Kate came out from Boston, where she lives. She's got 4 kids now. She got married, she's got 4 kids. She does a Janis cover band, and she does a lot of other bands. And she came out for the memorial, and she was just she just knocked my socks off so much. I said, we gotta get Kate in the band somehow. And so this Holland thing came up, and I asked her to be in the band rather than the guitar player who we'd been playing with locally, who was a great guitar player named Tommy Adetto. And Tommy's a phenomenal player. And Tommy and Tom Finch, the two of them are great players. And we had this 2 guitar thing. But I just thought Kate, in some way, being a woman and playing violin and being able to also play keyboards and also great singer, she would really add a lot. Plus, she's just exciting on stage. Then we didn't know who the singer was going to be for this tour, and I asked about 5 of our regular great singers who have been with us over the years if they could do it. None of them could do it at the time. And Peter said, well, there was a gal who went to Italy with us about 2 years before on a gig that I didn't go on because it was a one-off. It was a $25,000 one show, and I just figured I cannot do that. I can't fly to Rome and fly back the next day. It's too much wear and tear. So I hired another guy who's played with the band, a very good drummer, to do it, and I paid him very well to basically sub it. So I didn't do that gig. So people said, the singer who did that gig was a gal in Tampa, Florida. Her name is Eileen Humphreys, and she was really good. And I say, okay, Peter, I'm going to ask her. So Eileen says, yeah, I'd love to do it, So I'd never heard her. Anyway, we got to Holland, and it was just fucking great. It was just the chemistry. It was the best. It was the best lineup we've probably had, I don't know, since, maybe somewhere in the last 15 years, in my estimation. Even though we don't have Sam, this singer was just great, just a fantastic singer. And with Kate, 2 women, and myself and Peter and Tom Finch, great guitar player, the whole chemistry of the thing was just phenomenal. And we had this really great band. So I was very excited about that. We made this video. We made an hour 40-minute video, which we made a 3-minute version of, which is on YouTube.
I think I saw that.
You saw it.
Really good.
Yeah, it's really good, and everybody in it is great. And I'm trying to sort of promote that. When we play locally, I can't do that. We can't afford to bring someone from Boston and someone from Tampa. So we have 2, local people who do it. And usually the local people is Darby Gould. And Darby's a wonderful singer. She sang with the Jefferson Starship. And she's just an all-around good singer. I would not put her in the top 5 Big Brother singers of last week, but I think she's good, and I think she can, she gets the job done.
She carries it.
She carries it. She can carry it. And then with guitar players, sometimes it's Tommy, but Tommy's got his own thing now going. And so this next gig we're doing, we're going to be using a guitar player who we've used before. He's done three shows.